You know what time it is? What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? It is Monday night. It is a rare Monday night stream because I usually stream Sundays, and it kind of feels like a Sunday today. So, yeah, we are hanging out. We got some Power Ranger comic book news. We got some video game news that I forgot to cover last week, and then we have a lot of X-Men stuff to talk about. Real quick, just want to say hi. We got Nathan E in the chat. What's up, man? I know you've been super busy, so I appreciate you being here. Astronaut Ranger saying, I know you are super busy right now. You having a very happy time coming up soon, so appreciate you being here. We got Josh Oderby. What's up, man? You know what time it is. Dave saying, have a great stream. Let's get the party started. Sean Meadow says, what up, everyone? Dino Buckler. So just to mention, there is a small reason that some of you guys may see my face and you may not realize why. It's because I'm doing my first ever simulcast with this guy right here.
That's hilarious. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, I just like let me just like bring him up really unexpectedly and just make it awkward for a second. You know what I mean? I should have given you the solo screen so you're just like by yourself.
I mean, I'm embarrassed as it is using my FaceTime camera versus my normal camera. So you know what? Just keep them rolling.
But you know what? It's a different aspect for a different show.
Like, it is. There you go.
You know what I mean? So like, Hey Archer is the very beautiful cam. Legacy of Nerd is the ghetto Facebook cam or
FaceTime cam,
which is, by the way, the only camera I have ever used in these last 3 years is whatever I've had on my laptop. So
there you go.
We got Sal in the house. What's up, man? How you doing? I haven't talked to you in a bit. We got Tanya from Australia, and I did send her gift finally. Yeah. Hope you enjoy it. I've got the Weens who has the drinks. Let's see. We got Restoration Repair saying, what's up, everyone? We got Maddie. What's up, man? Evening all. Mighty Morphin DJ. What's up, man? I was going to say, I saw your Playmates video, but I said that last time, but it was really good, man. Leanne and Pepper. What's going on? Austin McNeil. Of course, Nerd Affiliates, everyone. And everyone's favorite moderator. We got Rolando in the house. What's up, man? How you doing? Of course, we have AZ. He is our man that runs our Discord. So make sure you, he goes to the link tree. I never fixed the Discord link, so I will do that. But we do have a Discord. Check that out. We have an agenda today. But our agenda really kind of is like whatever it leads into. But we can definitely start off with a couple of things. Let me share my screen for you guys. Because I am slow at this stuff, so just give me one moment. So
while you do that, I'll plug that we also have a Discord. I have no idea how it works. I don't know who's in it other than Sal moderates it, so they're in our Discord too.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, I remember he's talked about it, and they're like pretty active on there as well. Yeah, shameless plug. So did you? The comic book news, we'll start this. Like, I know you don't really follow like the Power Ranger comic books, but I think you're aware of kind of generally what's going on and the news surrounding it. So the latest news on it is that their main series, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger series, right now as it is, they're going to end the series and they're going to end Mighty Morphin. Now, when they first announced it, they were very, very weird in how they announced it. It almost sounds like they were done with Power Rangers altogether. And then there was like a lot of rumors floating around, but we got some additional news. But what do you think about the Mighty Morphin series? And it sounds like they're taking a break from Mighty Morphin for sure. What do you think about that in the comic book form, especially with the brand and everything that's been going on?
Yeah, I was talking about it on Nerdy Coffee today in the realm of comic books, where comic books are in a really weird space where they're kind of starting to drift. Like, it's really up to us, members of the nerd community to like go to the stores and kind of just buy shit. Like, even if you're not really into it, just buy. Sorry, I cursed, but just buy stuff, And when it comes to this comic series, I was very interested when it first launched. I was all in. I was down for this continuation of MMPR, for them bringing back Trini, Zach, and Jason, explaining where they went, all that stuff. I was super intrigued. And then at a certain point, I was just like, I don't know, like it just kind of like drifted. And it kind of ties into just overall hype, like the toys slowing down, just Power Ranger news slowing down. I kind of like rode that train of just things slowing down, and I kind of like drifted out. But when it started, I was all in, and I was very intrigued by it. So it's
I
kind
think I think they got to oh my god, Shattered Grid, and I feel like that was like their end game, and it was way too early.
yes. Oh,
And
that's a really good point, actually. Really
yeah,
good point.
and I feel like a lot of Power Ranger fans, even like the casual ones, especially the casual ones, are very aware of Lord Draken,
Yeah,
and that is because of JDF,
yeah,
and that short film that he produced and financed himself, So
yeah,
I mean that I think that brought it to the wider audiences because he spent a dime on that, you know what I
yeah,
mean, and it was done very well, and it was featured on all his socials, which is when you add it all up it's a couple million, right?
yeah.
So and that's direct to the audience. After that I think people fell off. I have to say, like, I was always aware.
Wow,
Was that I spent $32 on 6 comics, and that's why I stopped collecting
that's
comics.
wild.
That is a lot of money, and
Yeah.
honestly, so being and I know this is really ugly, but in my 20s in my college I had an access to a link to have all the free comics that I wanted
Hmm.
and didn't have to pay for anything. So I was reading a lot of comics, and I had always read a lot of comics, but now like I was reading stuff I would never read, right? Because
Mm.
like I had access to it, right?
Yeah.
So I was reading everything to like I Vampire, like horror comics, and just
Mm.
everything I can get my hands on.
Mm.
And then when I lost that access, I going to buy the comics. I remember I lost it in the middle of Final Crisis, or no, Countdown to Final Crisis, in that 52-week
Hmm.
a series, which I wanted to know how it ended.
Hmm.
And going every single week to and spending like it's $3, $4, $5, and then it gets pricey, right? And especially from our perspective, and like say even just the thought that we may want to review it, like as content creators, right? Um, we have to buy the digital. So it
Yeah.
almost like, we have to almost, for us specifically, we have to almost stay away from the physical because otherwise we're going to be double paying, and
Yep.
we can't use the physical for like, reference photos and our
Right.
videos and stuff like
Right.
that. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I did pick up again. We have Melissa Flores, who is writing the Mighty Morphin book right now and
Hmm.
has been since I think issue 101.
Mm.
And I've been reading since then, but it's been hard to keep up an actual physical copies because it's just like kind of not needed. And I think I may be part of the problem, but at the same time, like I'm still buying them. You know what I mean? So
But it are you? The thing is, it's funny. I was thinking of radio. Was it radio killed the whatever star? I'm forgetting the song, but
uh,
um,
I don't know.
whatever the song was. Like, I'm a big advocate for movie theaters going away because I
Mm,
just think it's past their time, and sadly, I think comic books are going that route too. Like, you made a good point with even just from a content creator perspective. Anthony right now, he reads the comics for our channel, and he
mhm.
asked myself, Sal, and Aaron to read and do reviews with him. But like sometimes finding the time to read a comic book, it's just like I don't have it because
Yeah,
I'm doing something else for the channel or my job or my family.
yeah,
Now that's an extra
hmm,
medium I have to allocate time to, and I don't have it.
yeah,
So it's like thanks to the internet, I don't need to buy a comic anymore because I can just watch the comics explain. I can watch Robert, explain or whatever a comic story, and like all these people will tell me everything I need to know in 20 minutes, and now I don't have to go buy it.
yeah,
But it's also not their fault because like that's the easiest way for me to consume it.
yeah. And it's kind of hard. Like comic books, it feels like it's been a dying medium for like a long time, but it just
Yeah.
doesn't die. You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. I'm not saying I want it to die or anything
Right.
like that. Like
Right.
it's just one of those things that like, you know, it's almost like listening to stories on the radio. It's not why I can watch the story on TV. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's kind of that same thing. And there's still radio stations that will do acts and plays, and it's just like kind of like how they do those audio reenactments on like different things. You know what I mean? Like their performances rather than someone just reading you a book. But like those are never going to be as popular as if they made a movie or a TV show, and
Right.
it's just the reality of it. Real quick, I want to shout out. We got Nick Tillett in the house. What's up, man? We got Arrow 26 saying YOLO, what's up? Austin McNeil, I think I said hi. I'm sorry, man. I did see this one comment from Dave's Dimension. He says there are some fans who kept the faith, and boom, some form of Power Rangers will continue forward. Some content creators shouted this was the end. I still say it's not the end. So I said it was the end because someone messaged me and told me, dude, I think that like they're telling me it's over. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? And then I got someone else message me and be like, no, they're doing something else or something, this and that. And I was like, so I was posting things and I kind of like, maybe I shouldn't have posted so quickly. At the same time, like you were seeing real time what I was going through. So it was like, you know what I mean? Like, fine, like I can go back and delete stuff and be, you know, like, okay, here's that. But you can say like, this is the transparency of everything of that I'm going through and the information that I'm getting as well. I mean, I feel like, you know, the people that follow me want to know, they follow me for information. That's what it comes to the end of the day. Content creators are followed for information, right?
Yes.
So whether it's right or wrong, I will find out when it's right eventually. But I was specific in saying that I am hearing that this is what is going on. I can't confirm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I raised alarms or something like that, but that was the reality what I was hearing at that time. I mean, I even had like really like high up there like people like telling me like, you know, I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing this, like, you know, people that should be like super connected. You know what I mean? And it was like a really weird day. And so we get to that point, you know, this comic book is coming to an end. And I was gonna review this comic, issue 120. And honestly, I didn't like the issue that much.
Oh wow.
So,
Okay. All right.
it wasn't as interesting to me. The 119 was really good. I should have reviewed it when it came out. 120, it focused on the Solar Rangers, and it just felt like we're in the middle of a movie and you're setting up a new scenario again. And I was like, why are we doing that? So it didn't.
Yeah.
I understand it was more setup, but I was like, we should have already been past the setup. Like we're deep into the story now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So which leads us to the other day, we got an announcement from Boom Studios that we're going to have a new team of Power Rangers coming back in a comic book. It's going to be a one shot in August, and it is these guys. This is our.
Oh wow, that's real. I thought
real.
Oh wow,
it's 100% real. Yes. And I just put it out there. I said this is our new team, and that's all I said. And I let people.
I thought you were doing the AI thing that you do sometimes, like even like with a thumbnail, right? I'm like, oh yeah, like you sometimes get like this cool art, you make it the thumbnail for a video or the lives. So I was like, oh okay, you got this like, you know, Sailor Moon whatever style image that you found on the internet.
The only thing I added on here was obviously my logo, right? Because there's I'm actually there. I don't know if you guys are aware, but Steve Cardenas had his Facebook page hacked like a couple years ago, and it's suddenly like super active on Facebook, and they're like taking all my stuff. So like I just been putting my logo because I might as well, if you're gonna like take all my content, like, you know, a lot of it isn't my artwork or my content, like me putting content together. But at the same time, like, dude, like people are saying like weird crazy stuff because you're posting so much stuff on there. But so I'm just free advertising, I guess, right? But here's one thing. I'll real quick. I personally thought there was going to be a movie after watching that Strategy trailer. A lot of people did. A lot of people did. But yeah, the one thing, and it was the Power Rangers title, because I was looking at the book and I was like, people are not going to connect that these were Power Rangers. So I added I added the title there because I was like, yeah, this is real. This is going to be their new team. They are a ragtag team of off-kiltered Rangers, is what they said in the promo.
I hate to be that person, but this reminds me of. So first of all, actually, another thought came to my head. On Hey Archer Live every Thursday, 8:15 p.m. here on YouTube. We were watching a video for Megas XLR, where it was a cartoon back in the day, like used to come on before Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, and they did a lot of spoofs of like anime and stuff. And they did one that was like a Power Ranger, like G-Force spoof.
Okay.
That's what this looks like. Like this belongs on a one-off like cartoon somewhere else, where they say, hey, Power Ranger writers, we would love it if you like helped us write an episode spoofing yourself, but we won't tell people it is, but we know you're the ones that wrote it. Like that's what this looks like.
I think it's really clear that these aren't in this cover, at least, like whatever this is they made their own costumes, and you know what I mean, like they're trying to be Rangers.
But do you guys remember Snowflake and Safe Space from Marvel? Do you remember when that came out?
No, I don't.
Ooh, yeah. If you get a chance, pull that up.
Okay.
Marvel's Safe Space and Snowflake. They dropped it somewhere like 2020 to 20. It's I gotta like think about who was I dating at the time. It was probably like 2019 to 2020,
You have to connect
somewhere
it
in there. I gotta connect the dots where they dropped these two characters. Like it was like a character, almost like when they do renders, when they show like them in different poses, they show the costume and everything, and everybody thought it was a joke. Yeah, yeah. Everybody thought it was a joke. We're like, what? Like like they're making fun of wokeness, like whatever. Because this is peak Last Jedi. Everything's woke, everything's destroyed. Disney sucks. This is peak all that. Even though I guess we're still in it, but when they dropped this one, I was like, yo, you guys are you guys are wilding right now. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, and then there was a whole team of them.
It reminds me of Ben 10. Just looking at it right now.
Yes, very similar animation style.
Yeah. Which,
so
by the way,
that's
I
what
love
that
Ben
reminded
10.
me of. Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't really don't. So I mean, me looking at it, I'm like, they don't, and maybe it's because of the panda bear. I don't know if it is, but they have the cat Omega Ranger. I always forget his name. But they have the cat Omega Ranger on right now in the books, but it kind of works right with the Omega Rangers and stuff like that. Yeah. And I don't know. It looks like, you ever go to, I guess we have a lot of them here in Texas, especially South Texas, but we have like the Mexican bootleg Power Rangers that are at the flea markets. Like that's kind of what I'm getting here.
Yeah.
Especially with this guy here in the corner with the skull and the X and stuff like that. Like just like super random kind of stuff. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with the brand. Maybe they're just being told they cannot use Mighty Morphin, and they're just like, then we'll just make our own people. I can totally see that happening. We got Lord Jacob of House Fabric. I remember him. He won the big JDF poster that Jenna gave me last year. I don't remember. He's one of those. And we got Robert Morton, dude. This dude's collection is like top notch, man. This dude, yeah, he has some of the best stuff, and it's all signed by everyone. Hey, it was nice meeting you. Made it back to safe to El Paso, Texas. Awesome, man. Nice to meet you too as well. We got Ranger Restoration. Wish I had a comic book shop locally. Missed the days when I was younger, and there was several. Man, and that's another. It's a dying, like I said, like it's kind of a dying business as well. Yeah. I've been going back and trying to get the entire run. Someone brought up here, I think Sal was like, he buys trades. Yeah, which is good. Like, I think I would do that if I did anything. Just sometimes, man, those trades, they want like $120, and I'm like, I'll just buy each issue then, because I'll have the covers and stuff.
Well, those are probably like the omnibus, where it's like
probably
it's like 10 trades in one or something. But somebody mentioned earlier, I should have scrolled back to see who it was. They mentioned going to Midtown Comics, and that's in case people don't know, that's a chain in Manhattan in New York City. And originally it was just one, and then they became 3, maybe down to 2. Either way, my vibe, my jam back in the day. Actually, shout out to McDonald's. I had it today. My jam used to be, I was working at Dwayne Reed, which is now part of Walgreens, so it's kind of the same thing. I used to work there, and every 2 weeks I used to get like a paper check, and I would go take the bus to Midtown Comics East and buy like 5 trades, 3, 4, 5 trades, and then go across the street to McDonald's, because that was one of the only ones that had like 2 double cheeseburgers for like $5. And then I would ride the bus back home eating like my cheeseburgers and like
reading your trades.
But the catalyst, what finally stopped me, was I don't know if they still have it actually, but they had a membership thing where you used to get points, and every $100 you spent, you got a $20 credit. And that, I don't know about now, but at the time that was the price of a trade. And they were like, oh, congratulations. This is like the 3rd time this month you hit the $20 credit. And I was like, oh, I'm not coming back.
This is a problem. Like,
yeah.
I want to say hi to Moto Zombie. What's up, man? I haven't talked to you in a bit. I had a pause in the middle of darkest hour. Oh, medical issues. Oh man, I'm so sorry. So I've been trying to avoid any spoilers. Just popped in to say hi, guys. Yeah, we're not going deep into the story. We're just kind of talking about the overview of the news and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Video killed the radio star.
Yeah.
I think that's like we got a couple people that are
Yeah,
fine
that's
with
what I was
them.
talking about. Yeah.
I have only a few copies myself and a couple of Shattered Grid. I've gone back and bought a couple crates like trades. I just recently bought Shattered Grid just because it was like, I think like $16. I was like, heck
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's up? We got MMA Head saying, what's up, Legacy? What's going on, man? I do subscription with Midtown Comics, buy digital. Also, good to have a physical copy, especially with covers that are unique and can get signed, like what I did for Amy Jo Johnson Return issue 3. And yeah, I totally like
Mm-hmm.
my issue 4, I'm gonna get a physical copy, I'm gonna get the trade, and I'm gonna get the digital because the digital came with the Kickstarter. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have every single version of that because that's an event. Right? That's different. I have the Comixology script Comixology. Oh my god.
Comicsology.
Freaking, I don't even have ADD and I couldn't get through that. I have I can't say it. It's like
Comicsology. I only know it because I hear it getting plugged all the time.
So I am in South Texas, and there is a folklore story about like a lady that kills like a ghost that goes after children, right? And
Mm-hmm.
kills children. It's called, I can't even say the name because I don't know why it just doesn't work like in my mouth.
Yeah.
Like La
Yeah.
Llorona, La Llorona, I can't say it. There's a whole movie about it. Like I should come out smoothly, right? And like I can't say it. And my wife makes fun of me to this day because I just can't get it out. La Llorona. I almost said it. La Llorona. Oh, I got it. Yes. I feel
Say
like
it again.
La Llorona. No, I messed it up again.
Oh yeah, Laona.
It's like, dude, I'm like that little kid that's saying Paschetti still.
Laona. Oh well, because it's an ORO. So
Orona.
yeah,
Yeah, it's messing me up.
La Orona.
We need Jose in here. We need General Kenobi.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's 6 months out. I prefer the physical comic, but it's hard to get now that my shop is closed. And I understand that, but at least like that's the mean. We're still supporting the medium. It's just different way.
Yeah.
And then people are like, why don't we want NFTs? And which is weird because it's like pretty much the same thing. It's a good.
Yeah.
I mean, the comics that are getting fewer, but I love some of the artwork. It takes some skill to illustrate. Yeah, I agree. It would have been a wise move to say Mighty Morphin is over, then surprise us with Zeo. Yeah, I don't. Should I say this out loud? Okay, I'll say this out loud. So I did talk to somebody, like higher up, and this was like months and months ago. And some of the people know who I'm talking about. And they basically told me, don't expect the comic books to ever go past Mighty Morphin. And this was like before.
We've talked about reasons why.
Yeah, and that was told to me by like a real like higher up, like in the Power Rangers, that creative team, right? We'll just call it that. And because they say if they move on to Zeo, there is the expectation to move on to Turbo, and they just know Turbo's not going to sell. Move on to these other seasons, and they know, but Mighty Morphin always sells. So, and they told me this before this run, with comic books. So, I don't know if they would change course in the middle of the run, and I mean they could come out very much and say Zeo is going to happen, and obviously they could have like been lying to me, or they didn't know, or a thing changed since then. But that is why I say, because that's the information that I've gotten, and I'm not, and it's not. I'm not saying like I can't like say it. Maybe I can say it. I don't know. I can't say it right now. Maybe we can say it when we find out when it's coming through, because I don't want to say it and then like people are like, who said it, and then they go to Zeo. You know what I mean? But that's what I was told. So I kind of have to like say like in my head, I don't see it going past that because I was told that by a person like that is helping do this stuff. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Hello everyone. What's up, Roadhog? Roadhog is like a 4-time giveaway winner here because he's just always here. That's what happens. So I really can't wait for them to do Zeo and Turbo and CC. And that's the thing. Like I got told that's not going to happen. Like they might make cameos or like time travel or something, but the story will never be about them, is what I'm just told.
So as a reminder to anybody who might be new to one of these streams where you and I talk, a lot of times we come from an angle of the financials and what makes sense to a board versus what makes sense to fans. And we always talk about this, where Mighty Morphin is the only recognizable thing to the casual person. And the casual person, unfortunately, there's way more of them than they are hardcores. what I think needs to happen somehow is they need to somehow figure out the financials of like Ghostbusters, for example. Like Ghostbusters, like by all math, should be canceled 5 times over.
Yeah.
Based on like how much they sell, how they produce in theaters, etc.
No.
But they have figured out a way to say, all right, the total addressable market, it's just this. So whatever we produce, we know we're only really getting that. This up here, it's not worth it. Like it's not
Yeah.
worth it to do. Power Rangers needs to do that. They need to figure out, all right, what is the market cap here? How much can we spend? And what do we think we can earn? And then just own the fact that like if we do go past Mighty Morphin, we're not making crazy numbers. So we have to make the operations math make sense so that when we go past it, we expect 10% drop off here, 20% drop off here. And then whatever that magic number is, we make that magic number.
And that's done. Yeah.
Yeah. And if that doesn't happen, then we're just never going to get past Mighty Morphin. It's just not going to happen.
And I think that's why what they're really trying to do is they want to reestablish what the focal point is, right? So, you know, they knew Beast Morphers, Dino Fury, and Cosmic Fury were going to be what they were, right? Like that was contractually they had to do some of those seasons. Cosmic Fury was kind of just like, you know, we still have a year left to pay for New Zealand, like let's just use it, sort of thing.
Right.
So, you know, and I'll go ahead. This is a spoiler for one of my interviews. I talked to Jordan Fight, who was the Gold Cosmic Fury Ranger, and he told me there's supposed to be 24 episodes. And right before they got to filming, they changed it to 10, like literally like days before. So, you know, and we keep on talking about the reboot. I don't know if the reboot is actually going to happen or not, right? But they want it to happen. I know they do want it to happen because they wanted to reestablish what the focal point is. So people would be like, oh, Mighty Morphin's the old thing, but this new thing is what we can build off. We can build our own story and we can decide where the cap will be here, right? And we can almost measure it and do what we can, right? So, that's what Hasbro's goal. And I think a lot of people are upset about, you know, their disconnection with Sentai and Toei and all that stuff. But the reality is, why, as a business, would you want to rely on another business to further your IP? Like that does not make any sense, right? For Saban, it made sense because he paid very, very minimal. Like he built this up from nothing, right? So you know, even when he sold it to Disney, he bought it back for pennies to the dollar. Like super fraction of what he did it. No,
super evil genius.
Super evil genius. Like no one can ever deny this dude knows how to make money, right?
Yeah.
But like he did not
music guy, not even a producer, TV, movie, nothing.
Like they cannot deny like how much he did. But the thing is, like, he didn't spend money. Hasbro's willing to spend money, or at least they were but if it means they can be much more profitable. And they even talked about that since their last earnings call, is like, you know, Power Rangers now is one of those brands that doesn't really make us that much profit. So we're gonna, you know, farm it out to Playmates. But you know, whatever, that's it's a hypocritical statement because they just said the last earnings call that it saved them, right? So either way, wherever you look at it, they want to reestablish what Power Rangers can do for them, specifically Power Rangers, because it's a brand that they own, that they're unfamiliar with, but has potential, right? So you know, it can easily become like the next like Stranger Things level, or you know, I don't know if anything can get like to Marvel and Star Wars stratosphere like that right now, but you know, there are things that are coming really close to it and are big events. You know what I mean? So I think that's their goal with it, so that they don't have to rely on having to release a Tommy figure every 6 months to keep sales up, or you know, having to release a Green Ranger or a Mighty Morphin or something. That way, you know, and people are like, why do they focus so much on Mighty Morphin? Why do they keep on giving us so many reissues and so many different versions of it? It's because it's sold every time. It's sold. And I know you're like, I saw it at Ollie's, I saw it at Ross. Doesn't matter. Still sold. Like the stores bought them. And that's the thing. It wasn't about you buying them. It was about the stores buying them, and the stores bought them. And then, you know, for the most part, we don't see a lot of Mighty Morphin in Ross's and Ollie's and stuff, at least like the Lightning Collection stuff and the more premium stuff, right? I mean, and we probably really won't, you know what I mean? I know we've seen some like Najetti and some random figures, but we've never seen like a full scale, like how we saw like Beast Morphers and Dino Fury and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like it just wasn't that. But I went on a long rant to say that I don't know if this comic book is going to work because and it's a one shot, and obviously maybe that's why they're doing a one shot, because ultimately it's not a series. I'm trying to read Ranger Academy, and I can't, like, it's not because it's not Mighty Morphin. I'm not connecting with it, and I think that's hard for a lot of people that, and the comic book people are my generation that are reading it. You know what I mean? Like we're the ones reading the comics. Maybe we weren't the ones we're watching the shows. I think that's much the younger generation, but and kids and stuff like that. But yeah, okay, let's move to the next topic.
Well, it's funny actually. Before you move on, I didn't
Okay.
even notice there's like a was that one seventh character behind the bear.
Yeah, that's Poisandra from Dino Charge. Yeah. So again, like not Mighty Morphin. You know what I mean? So it's a different character. It's Dino Charge. Yeah, it's Dino Charge. I was trying to remember. But yeah, in this one, I can't even remember the name of this. Yeah, this was the dinosaur game. What is it called again? Arc. It's called Arc. So I guess Mighty Morphin is coming, which it's about dinosaurs. I actually have no clue what it is. But it kind of brings up the idea of like, when are we getting a proper Power Rangers game? Like that's the medium where it can lead into something else for sure.
Yeah, that's that. I think I think they have to either move on from Mighty Morphin, or just own the fact that it will only be a nostalgia hit. And when it comes to stuff like this, it's like, all right, hey, does anybody want to buy our license for like 10 grand? We'll be in your game, please.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're doing right now.
Yeah. So
if you like to take oddball characters and give them morphers, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what it is. We got Zombie Hunter. What's up, man? How you doing? Rambling Nerd. It's killed Marvel. Oh god, I remember these characters better than
Snowflake and Safe Space. Yeah.
Zed's Evil's Rangers. I would love to see more stories on those guys. I want to see them like that. There was a theme. I know they looked bad, but like the idea was awesome. You know what I mean? I know they kind of did it in the comics with like Rita and stuff like that, but I'm talking about like these 6 Rangers that it was five of them that they had. I thought there was something to that, and we never saw them again. I think Jason David Frank in an interview, like those 5 people were almost, because this was after. Oh, this was before, Austin and Walter and Twee left. It was almost like we could replace any one of you, but they didn't have one for Tommy. You know what I mean? So JDF letter said that was kind of like a threat, was what it was. It was weird to say the least. Look very off-brand. I think they're all talking about the Don't Mess with Goth Ranger from My Lady Cat. My Lady Cat, what's up, man? How are you doing? Ranger Flea Market Rangers, yes. We are really behind. The guy at the bottom right looks like a KC from TMNT. It kind of did. I can kind of see that.
It would be great if he was like the toughest guy, but like got knocked out and eliminated like first every time.
Right.
Like that would be great for him.
I don't know why you like this brought up in my head when you said that. It reminded me of the pirate guy from Dodgeball. Like I don't know why that popped in my head, but that's who I saw when you saw that.
I have something to tell you guys. I'm not really a pirate.
Well, who am I going to share all this treasure with?
Yeah.
We got Jaeger in the house. What's up, man? We got Zio to Hero. Dude, oh, man, I'm going to tell you stuff for sure. Jaeger saying, like, so don't even know. Don't worry, I can't say it all the time. Yeah, it makes sense. They are what everyone knows when they think of Power Rangers. We need more Turbo. I love the Turbo Zords. I think like those are one of the ones I didn't appreciate back then when I was a kid, but I love them now. Sometimes it's not always best to be first with rumors or news that can come back to bite you, even if they do couple one. It's not about being first. It's about going through the transparency and you finding out the information with me. That's what it's always been about. I definitely agree with you, Ranger Restoration Repair, and we definitely need more Zeo. Nostalgia is what keeps Ghostbusters driving Ghostbusters. And it's funny because I really enjoyed that last movie. I don't even remember what it's called. Not gonna lie.
Frozen Empire.
Yeah, but I liked it. I thought it was really good. I actually think I enjoyed it more than Afterlife. Wow. Of course, Afterlife had like its like sentimental parts, which was really nice. Yeah. But I think overall story, I was getting more into Frozen Empire than I was Afterlife.
I won't harp on that too much, but I think because of YouTube, everything I watch now comes from an angle of is this going to grab a new audience? Is it going to make money, et cetera, et cetera?
Mhm.
And when I saw that movie, did I think it was a passable movie? Sure. But I was like, this movie does nothing to bring in a new audience. Like, somebody's going to watch this movie, say, okay, I saw it, great, and then go about their day. Like,
Mhm.
you didn't even remember the name of the movie.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
so to me, that counts as a failure. Like, something like that should be trying to build a new, younger, stronger audience to keep it going. That's
Yeah.
what Star Wars does. That's what everybody does.
But what
That's
I remember more is I remember the feeling while watching the movie, and I was having a lot of
mm.
fun watching the movie. And
Oh, sure.
that was for me. And Afterlife, and maybe it was because Afterlife came out during COVID, and
Right.
COVID, I just had to. I remember I just finally bought it on Apple. Like it just took
Yeah,
so
same.
long to come out, and we were really careful during COVID, like trying not to be on large places and stuff like that. And I don't even think I think it had a very limited run at the movie theaters as well. But which comes back to my movie theater. I know you say you're a proponent for someone like that movie theater should just kind of go away. But there are some things I really love seeing at the movie theaters. Like,
Oh, for sure.
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
Yeah, I mean, like I remember watching the first, and if I go out here, my internet, everybody knows when it hits about 9 o'clock, my internet just drops for some reason. So if I go out, I apologize.
Because you start simulcasting your OnlyFans of your feet pics, and the
Yeah,
feet live stream just starts at 9 o'clock.
yeah. So what I do is the feed stream, but I'm writing about Morph and Wolverine at the same time. So
With your
that's
toes, though.
yes. No, I actually do shadow puppets of what is gonna happen. That seventh character looks like him from Powerpuff.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, yeah.
Haha, agreed. Hasbro should advertise Power Rangers more with post MMPRDs. Oh yeah, well, I was gonna say Godzilla versus Kong. I really wished I watched that in the movie theaters. Like I thought that was like a perfect like movie theater thing to watch, right? So when I went and saw Kong versus Godzilla, the new one, I was like kind of let down. Like I was just like, it wasn't what I wanted from like the
Correct.
first that feeling that I know I didn't get from watching the first movie in theaters.
Correct. Yeah.
I think the key to wean fans off Mighty Morphin is to begin making different versions of NPR, each take different from the last until you get to the point where fans are not so dependent on it. And I think that's the goal with the reboot is what they want to do. You know what I mean? Or at least, I know we're hearing that they don't want to do Mighty Morphin, but like they want to do Mighty Morphin adjacent, definitely.
They just can't do another origin story. Like
Yeah.
whatever the next thing is, like F it, just roll with it. It's not origin, it's just they're just rolling.
Yeah. Ark is okay. This is what it says. Ark is a survival game in an open world. You can train and ride dinosaurs.
Okay,
that's cool.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
OG MPR. I totally agree with you, DJ Steve the Pirate.
Yeah.
Time Force had a great story and needs a sequel series. It does. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever get one. We got Millennium Workshop in the house saying good evening, everyone. Saying hi to Rex. Frozen Empire was made to feel like an episode of the real Ghostbusters cartoon. I can see that as well. That's how I found because they threw a feed finder. That's concerning. Just Johnny Bonetto is in the house. What's up, man? How are you doing? I wish Hasbro would make a Primator 2-pack with the monster and the Green Ranger with the green and red helmet. Yeah, that's asking way too.
Yeah, nobody's gonna buy that. All due respect.
So X-Men 97 talk. I know a lot of you guys are here for it, and we've been trying to like get through that for a while now. So it's being reported that Disney has submitted episode 5 of X-Men 97. Remember it for Emmy consideration. I don't know if you heard this, Archer, but one of the things I heard the other day is that it's expected. Variety was predicting and expecting the musical score to win the Emmy. And I was just like, man, you got to include Ron Wasserman in that. Like it's all the music is built off of things that he built. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. What do you think about X-Men getting its flowers? What are you thinking about that?
This would be a Leonardo DiCaprio win. Like, it's not necessarily that the episode is better than any other episode of a show this season of a something, but the show as a whole deserves flowers. No. So let's just give it to it because of all the episodes, that's the episode you'd give it to.
Yeah.
So, what is good is, for example, JB's Toy Trunk. He just finished watching this season. He had never watched any of the previous seasons of the show and was still able to enjoy it. So
That's
to
good.
me, that's already
Yeah.
a win. That's a
Yeah.
W already.
Mhm.
So do I think it might be one of the greatest episodes of a show this year? Too early to tell. But do I think so far it's the best nerd content season this year of anything? 1000%. Like
Yeah.
nothing this year has had me more excited for Wednesday to roll around, but then
Yeah.
also depressed every Wednesday because it's not rolling around anymore like
Yeah.
this show.
I think, and yeah, and I'm glad to hear that they're already like at the way in post production as well for season 2, which is awesome. I like the way they're
Oh yeah,
operating.
they're in season 3 already,
Yeah,
like
they're writing
working.
season 3 now, right? So,
It may even be 4. They may be even writing 4, and because Bo, I think, did 1, 2, and 3, was already rolling in 2 when 1 was, like, being
yeah.
announced, and then when 1 was premiering, I think they were wrapping up 3.
So I think he wrote the treatments for the first 3 seasons, but they're
Mhm.
writing like the first 2 seasons are all his, right? But
Yep.
the third season is going to be like overseen by a new showrunner. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, that I mean that's good. I like the way they operate. I don't think I've ever had an animated show, especially this episode in particular, like make me emote in so many different ways
Yeah.
and like and feel what the characters are going through. And I don't think that has happened since like Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Mm.
And that's that I mean, I feel like Avatar The Last Airbender as far as animation is like the golden tier, right? Like that to me, that is like one of the best animated shows that has ever been created, right? So X-Men.
Ironically, sorry to cut you off. Ironically, the show I was thinking of had a similar writer in Dave Filoni. I was gonna say Rebels, but
Rebels, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I think Rebels was really good, and the story, the way it ended up going was really good. But I think they really changed the direction in the middle of the show.
Oh, for
Like
sure.
this was really marketed towards kids, and then we realized like the kids are not,
Mm, yeah.
this is servicing all Star Wars fans, so let's make
Yeah.
it for all Star Wars
Yeah.
fans.
Well,
Where
The Kanan episode's what I'm leaning towards.
exactly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes, absolutely, absolutely. As where Avatar: The Last Airbender, it was like every episode. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
there was always
Yeah.
a course of
Yeah.
where that story was going,
Yeah.
and there wasn't any changes as far as tone or seriousness or anything like that.
Yeah.
Um, as far as this one, it's because and I go back and when I remember watching this episode, and I go back and watch or think about me watching the original series when I was a kid. I'm like that show would not fly as a kid now, like at all, and it was always like really like a hardened show, a very serious show that was on Saturday morning cartoons right after Power Rangers or before.
Mm,
So it was one of those things like it was one of those cartoons that was really ahead of its time. So from where the animated show ended to where we are now, it was actually like a natural progression rather than we're just going to make it darker and make it more edgier. And
yeah.
stuff like that. Like this is where the show was actually going. Like
Yeah.
at that time, you know what I mean? Had they not ended, and I said this in my last live stream with my lady cat was that I felt it's funny because you watch it from a different perspective now. You know what I mean? So I was making the analogy of Scott and Matt. We thought Gene by the time, but Madeline became parents to Nathan to Cable,
Mm,
and
mm,
I'm watching this as a very fairly new father, right? And I'm like going through it, watching them having to give up Nathan because that's the best thing for him, right?
mhm.
And I'm like, I could not do that. Like
Yeah.
I like and like having these feelings. So they almost knew like, hey, like a lot of the people that watched us are parents now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we can instead of making them feel we can make them feel different ways because they have these different emotions that they're going through, which I thought was an amazing idea or amazing way to go with this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you even look at the career like Bo DeMayo, who's um, you know, a very different perspective of what X-Men was back then, but he's almost like he's like no matter like what his characteristics are, that he's seeing the whole picture right now of what everyone would see the show for, which I think is amazing because a lot of people shows get very like, oh, this group of people will like this show or this group of people like this show, but everyone seems to universally really love X-Men 97 for the themes
Mhm.
and the things that it's gone through. But yeah, it's really good. That was a really long way to say it was really good.
Well, he this is I will never get tired of saying this. This show is exactly what everything should strive to be, which is you have a show that existed. If you decide to bring it back, you need a true fan of the original show to jump in
Yeah,
and take that ball and run with it, or take
yeah,
the baton and run with it. And Bo was us as a kid watching the show. And as a member of the LGBT community, he was like, this show, like the way that they were persecuted and people hated them, like
yeah,
it resonated with him.
yeah,
And as an adult writing, he was like, I'm going to take not only am I going to continue the thematical part of this series, but I'm going to interject my life and my experiences into the writing of the show. And that episode, he said, is a culmination of two events or around just a life of being hated for who he is, right?
mhm,
So he mentioned, as a gay man from New York, I went to school in the South. People hated my guts. Like
mhm,
I was just hated, just like the X-Men. But he experienced two things in his life that helped with that episode. For better or worse, people can interpret. For one, 9/11 happened. And as a New Yorker, I remember you're going about your day, it's like any other day. And then all of a sudden, your life turned upside down.
yeah,
Like you're just everything's different. Everything's changed. If you happen to be, unfortunately, somebody who was affected by it, you know what that was. Your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister, whoever it was, they went up for work that day, like every other day.
yeah,
They went to work in New York City. All of a sudden, they don't come home.
yeah,
The other event that he tied into that was the nightclub shooting in Florida. I forget the name of that nightclub.
yeah. And you know what I'm
And
talking about.
he's like, yeah, imagine, and that's where the party aspect of this episode came in. I mean, it was part of the comics as well, the massacre of Genosha or whatever.
Yeah,
But he was like, a bunch of people went to this quote unquote safe space of like, we can be ourselves here. This is a safe spot. We can dance, drink, party, and nobody will judge us here. And then somebody went in there and turned their lives upside down, and some people didn't make it out. He was like, those two events helped me write this episode to show that unfortunately this is life.
yeah.
And that's why that episode's so good. It's
And
just, it's there.
yeah. And a lot of people can connect with feeling like an outsider. I feel like a lot of people feel
Yeah.
that they can connect with that as well, and that's another aspect of it as well. You know what I mean? So whether it be you're gay, straight, black, Hispanic, white, Asian, whatever. You know what I mean? There's a lot of different reasons. Like we're all kind of like pushed into these groups, whether
Mm-hmm.
we want to be or not. But we have to. It's a struggle of trying to represent everything and trying to be everyone at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's very real. It's a very real, very real show. And we go back to kind of like the woke issue, and we kind of talked about this before with Ali B
Mm-hmm.
and Dan from the fan club. But like X-Men, I hate the term woke, right? Like that it annoys the crap out of me. But like, you know, X-Men has always been one of those things, like just like Power Rangers, like it's always been woke. You know what I mean?
That's what it's about. That's literally the whole point of the show.
Exactly. And you know what I mean? The thing is, if you're gonna like get mad because a mutant that doesn't have an identity, doesn't have a pronoun, like what do that those aren't the things you should be focusing on. Like there's an obvious message here, right? And if they're doing something like that, and most of the time it's to identify with a group of people that have never been identified before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and being realistic, there's going to be gay mutants. Like
Yeah.
that's just being realistic. There's going to be black mutants. There's going to be Asian mutants. There's going to be Mexican mutants. There's going to be autistic mutants. There's going to be, there's like, it's a whole population. Why wouldn't they have the same characteristics as the human population and
Yeah.
or real life as well? And
Yeah.
and that's just it's just this weird kind of like aspect of like people wanting to claim things that were always like, it was never like that. Like it was always like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like
The writers literally said that.
yeah, I mean, not only that for the show, but like back to Stan Lee and the civil rights movement and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Like, what do you think these figures were modeled after? You know what I mean? Like, think about the parallels and everything. Oh, I keep on going on these rants. I always do that with you, man. Like, transparency is about being clear about one is saying or presenting such as an opinion versus fact. Everyone enjoy the rest. I'm not sure what he's trying to say, but I think he's trying to say about me being transparent about the comics. the reality is, man, like, it's my platform. I've always been operating my platform on my way or what I think is best. People, if people can resonate with that, people cannot resonate with that. They can decide to follow me, they can decide not to follow me, they can decide to listen to me or not listen to me. It doesn't. The point is, if I'm gonna say something on my platform that I feel that I want to say, I'm gonna say it just like you would say it on yours, man. So, I
But
mean, yeah,
you also do say like if you got something wrong.
yeah, I do. And I have said that.
Yeah.
So one thing I get asked about is the HasLab that was supposed to happen. Like, yeah, it was supposed to happen, but
It didn't happen,
it
but
didn't
that's
happen.
not your fault that didn't
Yeah,
happen.
and it's just the information that we're getting. You know what I mean? So information changes, information is construed, and it's just like playing the telephone game when in
Yeah.
these sorts of things. Like, and the reality is, like, the audience, like you guys, and I really hate saying like followers and subscribers and stuff like that. They come to me for information, and I
Yeah.
try to get them the most up to date information I have. And I always preface like saying like, this is a rumor, or this is what we're saying. Sometimes this source is shaky or whatever, but I'm gonna say what I'm hearing. You know what I mean? Because most people want to hear it, and I would like to hear it too. And it's almost kind of like what could have been also if whatever happens. Like
Yeah.
there was talks of this happening. It's just kind of like the journey of getting there. So,
Yeah.
and that's what it is, man. And I mean, I don't know if it sounds like you don't really like it, and I can't really say much to that. That's you, and that's your opinion, and you're allowed to have it.
I will say though, you were correct, and I talked about it as well with the Hasbro like earnings calls. Like it was like 2 calls ago where they made it sound like Power Rangers was doing good.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it flipped. But I mean, I think it's not out of pocket to say like a life event happened that probably caused a spike in Power Ranger sales.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like it's all about money.
Mm.
So, to say I would have put money on that HasLab being a HasLab. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care where the news source came from. If somebody was like, they're probably gonna do some sort of HasLab to make a full on blaster or whatever it was called, I would have said, yeah, that logically makes sense to me for a HasLab.
It made sense to me because it was lazy. It
Yeah,
was a lazy thought, and
yeah.
that's like perfectly in line with what Hasbro
And you
would.
guys need it.
Yeah,
Like you guys need it to finish your collection.
exactly.
So it's
So
not out of pocket for something Hasbro would do.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I remember I was wrong about one time about I had gotten information that they were planning once and always figures, and it
Which
was
they should have
because,
done.
and I remember reporting on it that and the reason why is because they had made artwork
Yeah.
and they had told me these pieces were made all in relation to the once and always, but I don't think the artist understood what was going on. So
Mhm.
they just were told to make these pieces, right? So I that's why I heard there was boxes. But even to this day, all the artwork that has come out and these boxes and everything like that, that's not the amount that I was told that he made. So we're missing artwork.
Yeah.
So
And shout out to General Kenobi's Bunker, who's in the chat now.
oh,
He did
awesome.
that interview a long time ago with the lady who was a sculptor,
Yep, I
and
remember
she
her.
sculpts all the time for stuff that they're like, oh, can you make like this is hypothetical. I'm not saying this
Oh
is what
yeah,
happened, but they're like, can you hypothetically make a figure of John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic?
yeah,
Let's just see how it looks. And she'd be like, are you trying to tell me something? And they're
yeah,
like, no, just make the figure and let's see what happens.
yeah,
Like that happens all the time. So
yeah,
I don't. It's one thing if somebody's gonna make up something that's like far fetched, and for one thing, all of these like anti woke YouTube channels, they make up shit all the time that isn't real, and they got sadly millions of of watchers.
yeah,
But I think it's not saying something that is within the realm of possibility. I don't think is something to be like, sorry guys, I'll never do this again, or
yeah. And what will we do? We're gonna get information wrong. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what's gonna happen. But if we can own up to it, that's all we can do.
yeah.
Sensei Ranger Donnie's in the house. I just want to say hi to him. Can't wait till it begins this week. He's having a big life event too. So everybody send good vibes his way. He's having a great week, or he's having a hard week, but he's gonna have an awesome Friday coming up here soon. Zombie Hunter saying hey to Brett. Oh, we got Cool to Know. What's up, man? How you doing, man? General Kenobi's bunker. Hello there. What's up, man?
He's a true Hollywood now.
Yeah, dude, like he blew up. I tried to get him on the channel today, but he was like, no.
Call my publicist.
He was like, you have to make an appointment.
Yep.
And so I called the appointment. They're like, they're booked till December. And so it's just one of those things. Dude, congratulations, man. I've been actually, honestly, he knows I've been texting him every day because I've been following it more than he has. Just because I'm like, where is he at this morning? Because it happened when we were at NostalgiaCon, I think, or it started right before NostalgiaCon.
Before that, yeah, he said that, yeah.
And then I didn't, obviously I was kind of busy and rudely didn't know what was going on at that time, but he told me there about it, and I was like, holy, like, let me see your phone, like I want to see what that looks like, you know what I mean? And he showed me, I was like, this is freaking awesome. Like, so happy for him. Went super viral. I think it's still going. He's probably passed me up already, so just congratulations, everything, man. It's funny because I've always told him, dude, and I always, we talk a lot because it's hard being a content creator and not necessarily seeing the results we want to see, because we feel, especially we see other people doing so well out there, and you're like, I know I do better than they do, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and
that's a real thought.
It's a real thought, and it's a reality. And I see him, and I just like, he's so amazing at what he does. He should definitely have more recognition. And I've always told him, I was like, dude, like, I'm only your friend because one day you're gonna blow up, and I just want you to take me with you. That's the only thing. And he always like laughs, and then like now it's happening, and I'm like, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? So but I'm happy for him. He's so deserving of it, man. I think the difference in everything, like Power Rangers and X-Men, when it made it as the focus, I think that what makes, I'm sorry, I don't get that. I think that's the difference in everything, like Power Rangers, X-Men, when it is made as the focus. I think that what makes something woke. Okay, I get you there. Everyone's saying hi to each other. I'm ready for an X-Men 97 live action movie, and the question is, who plays Gambit? I think this role is pivotal. Okay, man. So I think he's looking ahead to my pictures, so we can go ahead and look through. Also, like, I want this. So yes. So there have been a lot of discussions of like what X-Men is, and I have been like kind of like scouring boards and internets and stuff like that to get ideas on not only that for like content and stuff like that, but like what are people really thinking? So one thing for Storm that people have had suggested is Janelle Monáe, that she is rumored to play a Marvel role, and they're thinking that she will play Storm, which I think she would fit pretty well. Some actual official news that we got, because really Giancarlo Esposito loves to talk at cons. So when he goes to cons, he just says stuff he's not supposed to say. But we found out not too long ago, because he said at a con that he signed on and he will be in Marvel, right? And then now he just said today or yesterday, he said the MCU knocked on my door, and it's a role you won't predict, so it's not Xavier or it's not Dr. Doom, and it will be teased, and there will be a series afterwards. So he looks like he's gonna be returning to Disney Plus, not as evil man. I forgot what he was. Disney, who was a Mandalorian. I forgot his name.
Oh yeah.
I see his figure all the time at Ollie's too. It's gonna bother me. Anyways, but yeah, he's gonna be moving over. I had always thought, like, once they said it's not Xavier, that it was going to be like Mr. Sinister. Like, I can see him as Sinister if he's gonna do Marvel. Unless it's just like, I really hope Moff Gideon, yes. But I really hope it's not just like, Shield agent Smith or something.
Oh, I saw the best picture, and I was like, I'm all in for who he could play.
Who is that? What do you got?
Norman Osborn.
Dude, that would be good.
And the picture that they showed, they were like, give him the waves, like the actual waves from the animated show.
He has wavy hair.
I'm all in. All in.
Uncaged Otaku says it always comes down to selling units. Gotta sell it. Yep. Not wrong there. Edgar says maybe if Hasbro is still working with Playmate toys, I think Hasbro still has the right to Power Rangers, but the guy who works at Hasbro, he effed up PRLC. So there's no one working for Power Rangers on Hasbro right now. They fired everyone or let go of everyone.
It's crazy.
Or reassigned. They actually do own all the rights for Power Rangers.
Yep.
But they are licensing the toy rights, the main global toy rights, to Playmates.
Yep.
So Playmates has paid Hasbro, I'm assuming some sort of X amount, to be able to make Mighty Morphin Power Ranger figures, or Power Ranger figures, right? So, or Power Ranger toys. step back, with the option of possibly doing a collector's line if Playmates ever deems that they want to do it.
Yeah.
So that is the agreement that we got from the press releases from Hasbro and Playmates. So it's hard because it's so confusing. Like I feel like that aspect is confusing. That like because they're like, oh, Playmates to be making Power Ranger toys now. Like, oh, okay, well Hasbro doesn't have it the rights anymore. That'd be like the natural assumption.
I think it I might be contradicting what I may have said earlier. I can't remember at the moment, but I think the way that it would work here is, you know, you guys have permission to make whatever, and then we take our cut on the back end when it's done and for sale.
Yeah.
And I think in a scenario like this, since they own it, they can tell them like, yeah, you work out all the kinks. We'll take, this is not real, my own number. We'll take 20% at the end.
Yeah.
Where like a company like Disney, they're probably taking like 35, 40%. Like they're taking people to town on their licenses, and that's why like
I think
Super
Disney's
7 didn't even re-up.
We get $7 for every figure that you make. Like it's probably like something like really crazy. Brent Pham, a lot of you guys may know him from Henry's.
Oh my god.
Saying hi.
Number one Austin St. John fan.
Yeah, man. He said nice to meet you in person. So he actually came down to NostalgiaCon.
Really?
Yeah, and I got to meet him in person and we had great conversations. A really nice guy.
Love that.
Very he was there for the Pokemon reunion. He said it was the biggest Pokemon reunion he had ever seen, and that's why he was there. So really nice guy. We talked about some things and it was good. It was a good experience to meet him. General Kenobi says much appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Rob saying Legacy is awesome. I just mailed them. Oh, so I kind of want to bring that up on the stream later because he did something really cool for me, and nice. We'll talk about that next time, guys. Hopefully. Season 3 is in the works. Yep. What's up, General? He's talking about X-Men. Moff Gideon. Yep, he's correct. Hello there. Hey, Brent. I'm there. Hey there, General. How you doing? Maddie's saying hi to General. Everyone is just saying hi to Hollywood here. Should have split the license, kids friendly and collectors item, different companies, different products. Yeah, but that would have been easy. Like, not easy, but smart. That would have been smart. Yeah.
I mean, they do that because 3-0 has a license,
Yeah. I feel the way 3-0. Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say like I feel sometimes the way that 3-0 operates is like an extension of Hasbro sometimes, but like
it feels that way. Yeah.
They're not. So it's a very long-standing relationship with the two. I think that's the way to kind of to look at it because they make a lot of different stuff that is definitely not Hasbro related. So
yeah.
And I got some now, so because I have money because I'm not spending it on $25 figures anymore. Like,
hey,
I was like, oh, I didn't spend a wave of figures this month, so I have $100. What can I spend $100 on? Hey, Austin. Yes, foreseeing something unexpected. Everyone is planned and bought to go. Oh, he's talking about Ranger Stop. So a lot of our following here is going to Ranger Stop. So, nice. Do you have I should have asked you before we jumped on. Do you have a cutoff time, man? That you knew? No. Okay. Because we have a lot. So some of the cameos that we're expecting in Deadpool Wolverine is Daphne Keene to return as X-23. Laura, right? Is it Laura in the comics? Is it Laura? Am I wrong with that? That sounds right. I don't know if it's right. Can't remember. It's gonna bother me now. But Daphne Keene's we're hearing that she's gonna come back. I don't know. I mean, of course, like all these are rumors. At the same time, they're telling us like they said they're gonna say crazy stuff is gonna happen.
Laura.
It's Laura. Okay. Mm-hmm. They're saying crazy stuff is gonna happen. I think this one's like the easiest kind of thing to pull off. You know what I mean? Like
nobody would notice.
Like her just showing up and just like, hey, you know what I mean? Like I feel like a lot of these, with Deadpool, we're hearing there were talks about Kevin Feige and a certain musical queen that's out there right now. Let me start with saying I am not like a Swiftie, right? But I see the business aspect of it and I understand it, right?
It's stupid not to have her in the movie.
Yes, like if you can, and it makes sense for like Ryan Reynolds' connection with Blake Lively and her being best friends with Taylor Swift and all that, like it just makes sense, right? And if they're saying she's gonna be Dazzler, like that just fits. It so fits. And I know it makes people mad, but I want you guys to realize something. They just planned a whole NFL season around Taylor's schedule.
Yeah.
And they've admitted to doing that.
Yeah.
It's just insane
Yeah.
sometimes, like the things people are going through.
I
But
mean,
I mean,
like I know people that were only watching the games to see if she would show up.
yeah, I mean, so I have Peacock. Okay, I'll take that back. My wife pays for Peacock, right?
Mhm.
And we
Ergo, you all pay for, like, you
Eric,
guys.
yeah, it's the household, but
Yeah.
we share it obviously because we share with our families. My parents can have access to it. Her family has access to it. Evidently, like 8 different people have access to it. And I went to go watch the Kansas City game
Mhm.
last year, last playoff season, which was only on Peacock last year. First time I've ever done anything like that for a playoff game, and I couldn't watch it because everybody in my family was watching it. So it was like,
Yep.
yeah. So I mean, and like my mom doesn't care about the Kansas City Chiefs, but she watched it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
One of Debbie's sisters doesn't care about the Kansas City Chiefs, but she watched it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
it's the reality. Like she is a moneymaker, and you cannot say that. And she just sounds like so incredibly business savvy. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, this woman is a force to be reckoned with at this point. Just be excuse me, just
Mhm.
being realistic. So,
Yeah.
oh, I just wanted to show this because like people are saying like, if there's no cow, I'm gonna revolt or whatever. And like, dude, there's gonna be a cow. Like
There's a
there's
cow.
already,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. It was like on that first image we got at the CinemaCon on the cup.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like he had a cow, and they're like, it's only me 3 seconds, and I was like, I think it may, I mean, it may be a couple minutes, but I think it's gonna have a prominent like role in the movie. And I mean, Hugh Jackman is not Jean-Claude Van Damme. He's not like, I'm in the Predator suit, I can't be seen. Why am I
Yeah.
here? Like that's not Hugh Jackman. So
Yeah.
Hugh Jackman at this point, like he's been seen a million times as Logan. He's like, put the freaking cowl on me. Like, do something different. And I think
Yeah.
that's why he's on this movie to begin with.
Yeah.
Let's see. So one of the casting choices I brought up,
Ooh.
this is one of the ones I kind of made up in my head. Because I was watching Jack Reacher. I love that
Yeah.
show.
Great show.
Um, this is like a good fit. What do you think, man?
Oh man. Shit. So I'm us here at Nerd Affiliated. We are huge marks for Richardson here,
Yeah.
and I think he could do it. I don't know if it's the one I would want him to do,
Uh-huh.
but he could 1,000% do it. Like that's not a question. I would.
I
I
think
gotta think
I
about
know
that
he wants Batman. Like he wants Batman.
for
He's been
sure.
actively campaigning for Batman, right?
For sure.
But and I'm not saying he couldn't do a bad Batman or a good Batman. I'm just saying like this just fits. Like it just seems like his personality, what it is. You know what I mean? Like
What he
he
could do
what we've
because
seen he could do. Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because he's a really nice guy. In real life, he's like so opposite of what you see in
Yeah.
Reacher.
Yeah.
And I my pick for him, if I was running DC, I've made videos about this. If I was running DC, he would be Booster Gold. The guy who like on paper would be the best superhero ever. He's like the best good looking character, Boy
Yeah.
Scout, whatever, but he's a fuck up. Like he could play that because Alan Richson is naturally, from what I see online, more of a jokester type of person in real life.
Mhm.
Reachers, he's got to like dig deep to be like that serious. So I
Yeah.
would love him to play Booster Gold if I could, and that would put Booster Gold on the map as a maybe a character we can do solo stuff on.
Yeah.
In Marvel, I'd have to really think about this. I like I said, he could a million times over play Sabretooth. I'd have no issue if they announced him as Sabretooth, but I got to really think about that. I like
Yeah.
if he could somehow pull off a Russian accent, I'd give him
Omega.
Colossus.
I was thinking Omega Red.
Um,
Class is a good idea.
yeah. Ooh, but this is good. This is a good one.
Trying to think like it's just the Marvel plethora is just so big. Um and you want to start with because X-Men is not filled right now, so you kind of want to go mutant, right? And maybe long shot. I'm trying to think of something
Hmm.
that's it. I mean, kind of Hollywood starry, kind of. I know they kind of did it in Deadpool, but not well.
He's too
Well,
big for a
yeah,
long shot.
yeah.
I
I mean, this is why I think once I see something, it's kind of hard for me to see it as something else. But I'm open to him being something. I just don't know if Batman's it either. You know what I mean? So
yeah, Batman. Here's the thing too. Batman is a larger person because he's got no powers. And in the comic books,
Yeah.
he's benched like, almost a ton. Like he's like 6'5", so he fits the body mold for sure for Batman.
Yeah.
I'd rather him play somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's not because I don't think he could do Batman, but I'd rather him play somebody else.
T3 suggesting like an MCU version of Eddie Brock.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, I could see that too.
But if we're playing off of Tom Holland Spider-Man, too big of an age gap for me.
Yeah, that's an issue. I mean, I don't know.
Because he's already in his 40s.
Well, Tom Holland's almost already 30.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah, that's true.
I know he just has a boyish look, right? So just kind of being, I mean, if the expectation they leave off or they restart the next movie where they left off exactly, which wouldn't make sense. So I put this up. This was like super controversial on my page.
It's funny. I've seen people share this who I didn't even know they knew who you were.
They probably don't. They probably just took my image. So again, this is something I saw on the boards. I didn't make this up. So I saw this on boards and comments and posts and stuff like that. And then I just put pictures together and I say, here, what do you guys think about it? And I can see it. And I don't even think I ever said anything like I thought it was a good idea or not. I can see it. Miley Cyrus is, she's been an actress for a long time. She's done, she knows the craft, right? Obviously she would have to, do some working out to get to where Rogue is and be a superhero kind of idea. But like here, I think I put this picture here because it was like kind of like a better, and I think I put an original picture of like the comic book and what she looks like now, because she's very, very thin right now. Like she's but this was how she looked when she was just a little bit more heavier than what she is now. But still she's always been very, very healthy and very fit. I can see it. Will it happen? I don't know. I something tells me I doubt it.
Wouldn't be my pick.
But the thing is, like, people, it's funny because in the comments I got like maybe thousands of comments, right? And I'm not even exaggerating. And people were like either, hell no, she's gonna ruin Rogue, or people were like, that's actually a really good idea. Yeah. And it was 50-50 down the middle, dude. Yeah. Like it was just like either hell no, or I could see it, or that's actually a really good idea. Like it wasn't anywhere like in the middle. It wasn't leaning one side or to the other. Like, and it's funny because it's like I was wondering if like anybody in my comments actually look at everyone else's comments, because I mean thousands of people, they're like, nobody wants that, and there's like 10 comments underneath them, I want that. And I was just like, yeah, it was super controversial on my page. I'm not advocating for it. People are advocating for it. If you go looking on the posts and X-Men posts and on X-Men pages and stuff like that, they are. It's not a lie. It's there. And maybe I kind of made it worse. I didn't mean to, but it was just something I thought was interesting. I don't know. A lot of people were suggesting Alexandra Daddario, which, yeah, if she filmed it today, that's the thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and then that was it. We never see Rogue again, because Alexandra Daddario is already getting to like 40. So
she's 38. Yeah. I just looked it up. Yeah.
So by the time the movie came, like she filmed it today, the movie will be out when she's 40, and it should be your Rogue for the next 10 years.
I'm ready. I'm down for this to be a nobody. I'm down for this to be like somebody's breakout.
It could be. It could be a nobody, but the thing is, Marvel's not hiring nobodies anymore. That's
it sucks. And it sucks.
And it might not be the mega star, and it might not be the Oscar nominated actor, but it was that actor that was on that show for 3 or 4 years that everybody like, that was a really good. She did a really good job, or he did a really good job on the show. That's what they're hiring right now in Marvel, right? They just hired the guy. I can't even think of his name, but for the thing from oh my god, from
I just saw him on a GQ cover.
I was just thinking, I can't even think of the show. It's about the chefs with Lip Gallagher.
The Bear.
The Bear, yeah. So like I did not see him from going The Bear to freaking The Thing. You know what I mean? Or Eddie, is it Eddie from Stranger Things? The guy that played Eddie, he's now a Human Torch. I never saw that happening until they suggested it, and that's all he really has done. You know what I mean? So, just tuning back in, what I'm seeing here is that's a negative Ghost Rider. Oh, not sure. I love Miley Cyrus. I enjoyed her as the Tyler character in Hannah Montana. A lot of people did. Me too, Donnie. Hey, Wanda. X-Men will mostly be nobody. I don't think so. I don't. They're gonna be somebodies. They're not gonna be absolute nobodies. Yeah, it sucks. Star Wars is doing the same. I kind of want nobodies.
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be nobody. So this was another idea. I saw this. I saw this on one of the messages, or not a message board, one of the posts.
Yeah, I saw it too.
But they were saying Austin Butler and Gambit, which I could
No.
see. I could see it because have you seen Elvis?
No, but that's
Okay.
a good point.
I mean, dude, and
that.
the reason I think about this is because he just mumbles the entire time in Elvis. Like, because Elvis, that's how the way he talked, right? And I'm just like, yeah. I mean, like Elvis was from, was Elvis from Louisiana? To begin with, no.
I'll look it up.
Or is it Tennessee? I'm not gonna look it up, but it was something he
kind of. I said I was gonna look it up.
Okay, I was like, but it wasn't a Cajun accent. Definitely, he didn't have a Cajun accent, but he had like kind of like a mumble to him, which I could see him doing, right? And he has that real deep voice, and I almost feel like they're kind of making fun of Austin Butler, like they don't know what his voice is anymore because he's
Mississippi.
Mississippi. So I mean, kind of the area, but definitely not Bayou or Louisiana Cajun or anything like that. So. Bryan Cranston is supposed to be in a Marvel project. Well, that's interesting. Speaking of Star Wars, I'm more interested in season 2 of Andor than the Acolyte.
I can't say that.
I really want to see the Acolyte. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Elvis lives. Just meant that I don't see Miley as Rogue. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, people are split down the middle. Honestly, speaking of Bryan Cranston, he did a great job at this year's National Memorial Day concert. Joseph Quinn, that's his name, is amazing. Pretty sure he'd kill a Marvel role. One way or another, maybe. We never know. I agreed with you, DJ. I really don't see Miley. So, going to another. So this was my pick. Like, if you're gonna cast for the next 10 or 15 years, go Sabrina Carpenter. But they're not going to because Taylor is a juggernaut, literally. And you're not. But this is what I would think was the best fit for Dazzler.
This is gonna be like the most. Or it's going to be the highest grossing passion project of all time.
Yeah.
Like he's just going to call in like anybody who's my friend.
Yeah.
Like come be in this movie. So like there will be big star. I mean, Brad Pitt was in the last one for no reason. So it's like, so everybody's going to be in it. Everybody's going to be a star that's in this movie, whether they should be or not. And I think he'll just chalk it off to multiverse stuff if they want to continue any of these characters.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, it's funny though, but some of the movies he's been doing lately, I think he said he's been doing them because he wants his kid to see things that he's been in.
Right.
But very, very different. But Deadpool is always gonna be the money for him.
He just plays Ryan Reynolds now. He doesn't do anything else.
Yeah. Why? So guys, just a little shameless plug. I did a very new thing on my channel. I did a movie review. I actually filmed it, and I started with the J-Lo movie.
I'm sorry you had to watch that.
It's funny. I don't want to spoil my review because, like, first of all, like, thank you for showing up for my movie review, like my first ever one. Like, I just thought I was really scared that this was gonna have like 44 views.
Yeah,
and I just was like, didn't want that for myself. And then like, I checked it this morning and it was like 4,000, and then before we went on, it was like 6,000. You know what? I know those aren't megastar numbers, but thank you for showing up. So I appreciate all you guys. It happened. Go watch my review. People are telling me I should do more. Maybe I'll do more. I don't know. We'll see. That was actually longer to edit than usually I can edit my stuff like in like 15 minutes.
Oh yeah, not something like that. No.
Yeah, this one took like 45 minutes, so it was like effort. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. But I had fun. I had fun filming it. Definitely. Going to the next thing. So we're wrapping up here at the end of our stream. I just want to do a quick reminder of everyone. More Phenomenal Expo is coming to San Antonio August 10th through 11th at the Deco Event Center here in San Antonio. We have already gotten a couple of guests signed on, but the most notable is obviously Rico Chiba, who you guys know as Terra Ranger from Jew Ranger. So she will be there both days. And we also got Steve Cardenas, Rocky himself, one of the top 5 Red Rangers of all time, because I said that, so I can't take it back. And then just because of transparency, right? And then Catherine Sutherland will be there. Your pink, so we'll have 2 Jew Ranger-ish Pink Rangers, because I know she was season 3, but technically she said pterodactyl and wasn't always. So we will also have Nakia Baris, who is amazing. Return. She was in New Braunfels last year, or a year and a half ago. And she will be returning as well. And you guys have all been seeing those Zeo Ranger, Yellow Zeo Rangers and Ollies. They haven't been a lot here, but I've been picking up where they am because you never know. So because we do giveaways here. Selling Ward's gonna be here as well. I don't know who did this image. Gave him amazing fade here. Like just I don't think he's ever looked like that, but he looks great here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's pretty funny.
Whoever, I don't know who did
I was
it.
like, oh, okay. I didn't know he had that much hair now.
He doesn't, but he was
That's
bald.
what I thought.
He had a very short hair the last time I met him.
Yeah.
Saw him. So yeah. Also, just for teaser, guys, I forgot to put this image, but we are having Toku Thursday here in San Antonio this week. I really, really implore you guys, if you're not already, to be following More Phenomenal Expo here. I know a lot of you guys aren't here in San Antonio, but a lot of you guys follow Morphicon, and you're not in Pasadena either. So More Phenomenal's gonna be making some moves here. That's what I'm gonna say. They did something crazy. I do know, like I know I'm playing coy on posts and stuff like that. I do know who the guest is. You guys are gonna be like, holy crap. And you're like, and some of you are even gonna consider to maybe come to San Antonio that you weren't even thinking about traveling, but you're gonna consider it now. So guys, make sure you're following More Phenomenal on Instagram. Let me pull up that because I'm never ready when I say I want to put something up and I don't have it ready. Let me get their link, and I appreciate you guys all following. I think there's like 30 or 40 people in here right now. There's 24. Never mind. Here we go. Let's see. Get the link, copy, paste. I did it quicker than I usually would have done it. I bet you somebody else already in chat is already doing it. But guys, just make sure to go follow them. Really cool. They've been doing a lot of things for the Toku community, Tokusatsu, and the Power Rangers community, doing a lot of good things, man. So give them a follow. And that's the end of our topics today. Before we leave today, Archer, is there anything that you wanted to talk about?
No. I mean, that was
a lot.
That was a lot of stuff that I actually forgot to talk about on my shows. So I'm glad that you brought them up because I could actually talk about them.
So yeah, man, we've been meaning to do a stream for like a year. I think we've been talking about like really. I know we did the emergency like
Hasbro one.
Yeah, but we haven't really got to talk about a lot of things we want to talk about, and I feel
just like free conversation.
Yeah, which is good. And I appreciate you for being on. And thank you so much for coming on, and
anytime.
for last minute too, which I appreciate. So before we go, do you want to? Let me give you the floor. Hold on, solo layout. There we go. Would you like to share anything with the group here?
Yeah. As you can see down here, I am the Prez of Nerd Affiliated here on YouTube. So make sure you give us a like, a follow, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified. We do 2 live shows a week. I do random gaming streams. I've been gaming a lot of Ghostbusters. The 40th anniversary is coming up actually in 2 weeks. So I'm doing a lot of content to get to that point. We're dropping new Ghostbuster videos every Friday. Anthony's been doing a lot of heavy lifting on that end. So that's gonna be a good time. 40th anniversary, that's next weekend, which is crazy.
Oh wow.
Down in New York City. So there'll be content around that. But yeah, give us a follow, and of course, follow the Legacy one, of course. I said of course way too many times. I'm sorry.
I think when we start rambling, we just like, yeah. You say one, you stick to one word really well. So guys, before we leave tonight, I just want to thank for a lot of you being here. We got Tanya, we got, of course, General Kenobi, and of course, congratulations for all your success. We got Nick Tillett. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate it. Unkage Utaku. We got AZ. Remember, go follow Discord. I will fix that link someday, I promise. Arrow 26 Studios. We got Austin McNeil. Sentai Ranger. We got Mighty Morphin DJ. I know saw Sentai Ranger Donnie. Josh Oderby. I just saw you, but I lost your chat. There you go. We need Sweeney for Dazzler. We need Sweeney for everything, sir.
Black Cat.
Everything. Ted from the Countdown City Geeks got to interview Sydney Sweeney. I was supposed to be there that weekend and I couldn't. And I'm mad at myself. T3 Collects, MMA head Austin McNeil. Of course, we got let's see. I keep seeing Nerd Affiliate. Maddie from I'm trying to think. Mid Tennessee Geek. That's what I was thinking. But thank you guys for all being here tonight. I really appreciate you guys. As always, I never know when I'm going to have content up. It just goes up when I feel like it. Although I am planning on reviewing MMPR The Return this week. I think we'll have Milady Cat on there if she's up to it. So look out for that. And guys, just make sure to go follow More Phenomenal Expo. They're doing great things for the Power Rangers and Tokusatsu community. Just give them a follow and see some of the crazy things that they're going to be announcing. Even if you're not planning to come to San Antonio or going, give them a follow because cool things are coming. So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. I appreciate y'all being here. And y'all know what time it is. And Archer said,
It's more from time.